Hi, and welcome to the first tutorial video for the Calorie Calculator sheet version 1.6. In this video, I will talk about the basics. We will touch all parts of the sheet in brief. I'm going to show you how you can get it and personalize it for your needs, and I also give you a quick overview of its general usage. There will be more in-depth videos in the future for the parts that need more explanation. However, generally speaking, by only watching this, you should be able to use the sheet. So without spending more time, let's get into the basics. The first step is to get the Calorie Calculator sheet. The link for the sheet is available in the description of this video, or in our subreddit. In this case, let's just use the latter. If you have a Reddit account, you can join our subreddit. I share new versions, videos, and news there regularly. You can also post your issues and ideas there. I usually answer within a day. On the top of the page, you can always find the latest version and the new user guide pinned. Right now, we are looking for the link for the new version, so I'm just clicking on the version 1.6. The link for the sheet is at the top of this post, but as you can see, we also have the release notes for the version down below. This is a copy link for the sheet. That means if you click on it, it will try to make a copy of the original in your Google Drive. In case you're not logged in yet, Google will show you a login screen. If you don't have a Google account, you can even make one here. However, after you logged in, you should see this copy document page. Let's just click on the Make a Copy button. This part can take a few seconds depending on your connection and the Google servers. Eventually, the Calorie Calculator should show up. The first thing you are going to see is the tutorial page. I recommend it to read it as it contains information that we are not going to touch in this video. Also, just like the sheet itself, it's available in multiple languages. However, in this video, we are going to skip it. There is one thing I would like to mention here, the buttons. In the sheet, I use fake buttons. They look somewhat similar to real buttons you find in other applications. The difference is that only the darker part of them functions as a clickable button. The reason for this is that classic buttons are not working on mobile, but these fake buttons are. If we click on the test button, it removes the copy off from the title of the sheet. As you can see, by clicking the button, it becomes gray and shows a please wait text. Running Google scripts are somewhat slow, and if you are making changes in the sheet in the meantime, it can cause problems. So I highly recommend you to wait until the please wait text disappears. By skipping the tutorial, we found ourselves on the most important sheet, the day sheet. It contains 3 different parts. The first is the header. Here you can find the day selector, which lets you switch between the current, previous, future, and template days. Under it is the summary, where you can find all your nutritions and calories by meals for the day, the range for the selected profile, and the difference. If you have Num enabled, you can also find the Num related summaries here as well. On the left side, there is the macro profile selector. You can register your burn calories for the day here and see the difference compared to what you eat. Under it, the checklist. It's just a simple visualization for you to see if you reach your calorie, macro, and calorie density goals. The last part of the header is the calorie density bar. It shows you your overall calorie density for the day. If you keep it in the green range, you can help to make you feel full even in low calories. Let's switch to the next part. Just under the header, you see the items. Here you can register all the food you ate for the day under separated meals. You can customize this part in the settings. I will show you later in this video how. If you add an item and the amount you consumed, the sheet will automatically calculate all the nutrition values and update the summary as well. You can even use the inline calculation function to reach your nutrition goals easier. For example, if I have 100 calories left and I want to eat as much strawberries that can fit, I can just write strawberry in the name and C equals 100 in the amount field, and the sheet will automatically replace it with the amount that can fit into 100 calories. You can learn more about this function in the tutorial. The last part of the day sheet is the tools. By default, they are hidden, but you can load them by simply clicking on the Show Tools button on the right side. Here you can find a number of day and meal related tools. You can save the current day as a template, load the template to the current day, delete template days, clear all items from the current day, select meals and save them with names, copy meals from and to other days, clear the selected meals, and even delete saved meals. To load a saved meal, you have to just go back to the item, choose which meal you want to load it in, click on the first item of that meal and select it from the items list. And with this, we touched all parts of the daysheet. The next is the new item form. The name can be a bit misleading, but the sheet is not just to add new items, but to edit and delete them as well. To add an item, you just have to write its name to its name field. Then add the serving amount, serving unit, and serving weight. This is usually the same that you found on the products package. So for example, if the package shows the nutritions per 100 grams, then you add 100 as an amount, G as the unit, and 100 grams as a serving weight. But if the package mentions nutrition per piece, the amount is 1, the unit is piece, and the serving weight is the weight of the piece. After the serving, you should fill the calorie and nutrition fields. Most of the times you will only use these fields. However, for special cases, we have the additional fields part. The first of these are the auto delete field. With this, you can set up a timer to delete the items after the given amount of days. This is useful if you are on a vacation or just trying out new foods. If you later change your mind, by simply editing the item, you can remove the timer. The next two are the new serving and unit. They are useful if you want to change the serving from gram to any other serving. After this comes the additional water field. You can use this in case the item you want to add requires additional water, however the nutritions are given as dry. For example, instant noodles and protein powders. The next is the noom part. Here you can change the noom food category or override the given color. The last additional field is the macro calories. This is just a tool to see how many calories would be the item only using the nutrition informations. Clicking on the Save as Item button, you will save your item to the database. To edit an item, you should write its name to the name field and it will automatically load the item into the form. By clicking the Update item, we'll save any changes you made. Below the form, you can find the Delete Items part. Here you can select multiple items, and by clicking on the button, you can delete them all. The next sheet is the Recipe Calculator. It is useful when you're cooking, baking, making a salad, or making anything else that requires multiple ingredients. At the top, you can give a name to your creation. Then, you can list the ingredients. By default, the sheet will save the new item per 100 gram, but you can select to separate it to equal parts and save it as a custom serving. After this, similar to the new item sheet, you can set up an auto delete time for the item and change the room category. The last field is Save as Recipe checkbox. By clicking it, the sheet will save the name and the ingredients of your creation as a recipe. You can later reload and alter your recipes, which comes handy if you regularly cook the same food and you need to make changes. By clicking the Save as Item button, the sheet will save your creation as a new item. You can load the recipe by simply writing its name to the name field or selecting it from the drop-down list. At the bottom of the sheet, you can also find the Delete Recipe part. Here you can select multiple recipes and delete them. Let's move forward for the next sheet, Profile. This sheet has 3 separate parts. The first is the macro profiles. Here you can set up to 7 different profiles. For example, you can have one with higher calories and protein for the exercise days, or one with lower calories for the lazy days. It's even useful if you are doing a carb cycling diet. Just under it, to the left, you can find the calorie output calculator. This is just a basic calorie calculator that you can use to calculate your expected calorie output. On the right is the last section, weight history. Here you can record your weight changes over time. The next sheet is the settings. I will go over all the fields one by one just to give you a good understanding of their functions. There are 3 different sections on this sheet. The first is the settings at the left side. I'm starting with the future and archive days. They are located inside the general group. They are responsible to set up how many days the sheet should generate for the future and how many should it keep from the past. You can choose any number between 0 and 30 days. If you are doing meal prep, you probably would like to have many future days so you can set up your diet in days ahead. The next is the price calculations checkbox. By turning this on, the sheet activates a new field around the spreadsheet so you can keep track of your budget, not just your calories. After this comes the default calorie output field. With this, you can determine what data the sheet should use as a default for your calorie burnt field. The next is the consume checkbox. Activating this will put a checkbox in front of your items in the day sheets, so you can keep track if you are already consumed them or not. After this comes the num checkbox. This is to activate or deactivate the num functionality around the spreadsheet. By turning on the auto macro cycle, the sheet will automatically cycle through your macro profiles and assign them for each day. The last of the general group is the use percentage in the macros when acceptable. This is, as its name suggests, determines that you either use grams or percentage when you set up a macro profile. The next group is the nutrition fields. Here you can select the nutrition fields you want to use in the sheet. Right next to it are the meals. You can set up to 6 different meals per day from 5 to 15 items each. You can simply rename and resize them to your needs. Or if you don't need a meal, just leave its names and size empty and the sheet will automatically remove it from around the spreadsheet. The last group of the settings is the localization. You can set up the language, the time zone, time format, measurement and currency here. I think they are quite self-explanatory, so let's just move to the left side of the sheet and talk about the import. You can use this part to import data from another Calorie Calculator sheet. For example, when you change from an older version to the newest one. You will need the sheet ID from the original sheet and put it in the sheet ID field. You can find the sheet ID in the link of the sheet. You can select what data would you like to import and choose to clear the already existing data or just merge it with a new one. Import is one of the two functionalities that only work on PC, as it needs access to your other sheets. If you click on the import button, the Google will ask you to approve this access. I show how the process looks on screen, but be aware Google regularly changes this, so it might look different for you. After the access is granted, the import starts and it can take up to 30 seconds. The last group is the useful functions. Here we have two buttons. The first is to add the trigger button. Every time when you open the Calorie Calculator, it will check if the day passed since the last opening. And if it did, then it starts the daily routine process. However, because of Google's limitations, this process can't run on mobile. By clicking this button, you can set up an automatic trigger that runs on the server and triggers this process in the background. So you are not going to have any issue even if you're mostly using it on mobile. Unfortunately, adding the trigger also needs higher access, so you can only run this on your PC. But it only needs to be done once, and from then the sheet should work as intended even on mobile. The last button is the Execute Daily Routine. It is useful if you haven't added the trigger yet, but you still want to use your sheet mostly on mobile. Clicking this button will execute the daily routine manually. And with this, we finish with the settings sheet. The next sheet is an easy one, History. Here you can find all the important information for the days since you started to use the sheet. In the header, you can get a summary about your last 7, 30, 90 days, or even from your overall. And under it, you can see the days one by one. And with this, we reached our last sheet, the support. Here you can find a link to my Ko-fi page, a link to our subreddit, the version of the sheet, and some basic troubleshooting information. I hope you find this tutorial and the sheet useful. If you do, please leave a like. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I share new versions here as well in case you don't have a Reddit account. If you have a question or ideas, or just want to share your feelings, please leave a comment. Reading your comments is my biggest motive to keep maintaining and updating these projects. Please also consider donating if you find the sheet useful and would like to support my work. I hope you have a very good day. Bye.